All right. Without further ado, I cannot wait to interview Michael Sandman from Van to Victory. And I don't know your story. I know a little tagline, and I am so excited to interview you today, mostly because I know nothing about you, but your reputation precedes you. So what I want to dig in with you, Michael, is if you can just introduce yourself a little bit, the team you work with, where you live, what kind of leads you're running, and then I want to interview the heck out of you and get to the core of what drives you.
Yeah, man, absolutely. This was the quietest place I could find, so hopefully you guys can hear me okay. But awesome. So yeah, my name is Michael, last name Sandman, and that is my real last name. Some people ask me, is that my nickname? But yeah, man, I live in Tampa, Florida. I started with FFL. I've been with FFL a little over a year. I started the end of 2020. I went full time. And so 2021 was my first full year. I just turned 20 about a week ago, so right after convention. But yeah, I started, a little over a year ago. And man, yeah, when I started, I didn't have no money. I was broke, but I knew that there was something out there that I was going to, do good at. Why? Because I was willing to work. That was, so just to back up, just to kind of briefly explain my story for you, for some of the people on this call that don't know, I moved down to Florida about little less than 2 years ago. I moved out here as soon as I turned 18. I was like, you know what? I was living in Louisiana. All my life, I told myself once I turn 18, I don't know where I'm going to go, but I'm going to leave. And me and my brother packed it. My dad had a old van. It was man, it was at the bottom of the barrel. He just gave us the van. We had the last little bit of money that we had. We used, we put it towards a U-Haul, came down to Florida. And, when I got down here, it was right when COVID hit. So it was hard enough, people were losing their jobs. It was hard enough finding a job. So, we came down here. It was really, really hard to find a job. We finally ended up finding, some part-time things that we could do. But man, we couldn't get in an apartment because we had no proof of income. It was terrible. But when we got down here, my friend, he called me. He said, "Hey, dude." He's like, "Dude, I made $500 on Monday." And I was like, "Okay, you made $500 on Monday." I said, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm selling life insurance." And I was like, "Selling life insurance?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm selling life insurance." I said, "Well, dude, I was like, dude, I'm broke. I don't have any money. Why? I might as well, join with you." He's like, "Yeah, of course." So I reached out to, it was with a different company here in Florida. And I talked to the guy over the phone. He sent me the course. And I was living out of my car at the time. So I remember I had an old MacBook, and I went to a Goodwill parking lot, and I studied for about 10 minutes. And I was like, there's no way. Because when I in my car, if I sat in idle for more than 10 minutes, the AC stopped working. So it was terrible. I was like, there's no way I'm going to sit here and study. And it was like a 40-hour.
What month in Florida was this?
This was like this was like the beginning of summer. It was like,
God.
Yeah, it was and Florida heat is like anywhere in the, like, I've been everywhere. I mean, there's the heat in Florida, the humidity, it's just terrible. So there's no way I'm gonna do that. And 3 months later, I found myself in the same position. I was working a job making like $300 a week. It was literally getting on roofs. It was terrible. And I was like, dude, I gotta find something different. So I actually went back to researching a lot of, just looking, through different companies within the life insurance industry to kind of see who I thought would be the best fit, because I was, my goal was to go all in. And even as a young, 18-year-old guy, I just family first life scene, because I reached out to like 10 different people, 10 different companies. And family first life, when I reached out initially, when I reached out to Eric Anthony initially, he said, "Meet me in my office in an hour," because I called him. And I was like, dude, okay. I met him at his office. Long story short, 7 days later, I ended up passing my test. And yeah, man, even through all the bad days, all the good days, man, because it was getting started was, man, I was probably one of the worst agents to ever come into Family First. But I just knew I was willing to work hard. And ever since then, yeah, man, it's just been a crazy ever since.
That's freaking cool, dude. And I appreciate you just sharing that. And you know what I'm excited about is the next time I have you on this call in like a year, your brand is going to be completely different from the guy that moved down living in a van and figured out how to write 500,000. I can't wait to do this again in a year and to see where you are. Cause just how you're communicating right now, man, you're renewing my enthusiasm for this, because if you could do it, proclaiming yourself to be the worst agent that ever came to FFL, you just knew how to work. I think that gives so much hope and encouragement to all of the young agents on our call. And we got a bunch of them on here, young in terms of age, but also tenure with Family First Life. So let's dig in now. What you were running in the beginning. If I had to guess, it wasn't brand new mortgage mailers or live transfers.
No, absolutely not. No.
So what were you running?
Yeah, in the very beginning, so like when I first came into the business, I remember telling Eric, I was like, dude, I don't have any money. I was like, he's like, man, he's like, you can't even pay for your course. I was like, dude, I just don't, like, I'm broke. He's like, all right, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pay to, to schedule your exam. And then obviously the course is free here at Family First Life. So after I got through my course and then I got started, as my upline gave me like 60, like 1.5-year-old leads. And I remember, dude, I had so much anxiety. It was terrible, man. I had so much anxiety. For my first 2 weeks, I dialed in my car by myself because I just didn't want to get in front of other people and let them hear me dialing. It was a total train wreck. But my first 60 leads that he gave me were like old internet leads. And actually my first like 5 to 6 months, I'd never even touched a direct mail lead. Like my first, and I could, with internet leads, I was, I was very, very profitable, the best, more money than I could have made anywhere else, helped a lot of families. But in the beginning, it was internet leads, and I implemented a lot of Facebook internet leads. But the main thing is just in the beginning for myself, I was just so afraid to invest. And I mean, for me, it was like I was delivering DoorDash, making $300 a week. So it was like, for them to tell me to spend $2,000 in a week, I was like, there's no way, it's like, that took me a month and a half to make that at my, doing DoorDash. So once I understood the concept of, regardless of whether you help 30 families that week or you don't help any, you're still going to make it a non-negotiable to spend a certain amount on leads. Once I understood that concept, and what got me to understand was I guess 1 month I just decided to at least spend $2,000 every single week on leads. And I know I mentioned this at convention, but that month I helped 71 families. And I was like, wow, imagine if I'd done, and I spent a whole lot more, but my profitability was just so much higher because I had more people, had more shots,
What was the tipping point for you when you removed the fear from the equation to start believing that the more you spent on your business, the more profitable you'd actually become?
Yeah.
It's a really confusing thing for most people. It doesn't make sense. But what was the light bulb for you?
What it was is one of the guys in our office, he was a Hall of Fame producer. He's like, dude, Michael, you're in here you're literally ringing out every single lead that you get, dude. You can't be doing that. He's like, you got to buy more leads on a weekly basis. And April of last year, I remember that was the month that it clicked for me. April of 2021, I told myself, this month I'm going to spend at least $2,000 every single week on leads. And I was like, you know what I'm going to do is, before that, I told myself I was going to get at least save $10,000 to $15,000, just so even if I, worst case scenario, I wasn't profitable, I was still fine. And I could just do whatever, I remember I ran internet leads, and the goal was to get $10,000 to $15,000 inside of my checking account. Once I had that, that's when I stepped out and I was like, you know what, I'm going to spend $2,000. And I did. And from April to December, I never spent nothing less than $2,000. I actually increased it. Why? Because I was even more profitable, because I even had more families to see. But the thing for me, man, was just, I was sick and tired of dialing 13 hours a day. But the thing was, I was always willing to do that. And even to this day, I'm still willing to do that if that's what it takes to get the amount of appointments that I need. Because dude, I've watched even your trainings, Steve's trainings, all of you, like, I know for yourself, you're like, dude, you got to book really, really solid appointments. And I was like, man, if I can just do that and also be spending $2,000 to $3,000 a week on leads, there's no way I can fail. And I implemented that, and it completely changed my business.
Michael, in the beginning, before you mentioned that training that I did about setting intentional appointments, did you transition from quick sets to more intentional sets after watching that?
1,000,000%. I remember where I was at when I watched that video. I remember exactly the place I was. It was a Sunday afternoon, and I was watching it. I was like, dude, I was obsessed with it. I'm still pretty obsessed. It's like, I watched that video and it changed everything for me, man. The questions that you asked and at the end, you're like, hey, like, what colored cars am I gonna expect to see? Is the numbers gonna be on the house, the curb, the mailbox? You know, I'm gonna shoot you a text message with my business card. I remember all of that, and I implemented like all three of the things. And like even this past weekend, it just helped so much. Like Friday, I booked 8 appointments. Now this won't happen every time, but I didn't have any no shows. All of them were home, but I made sure that every appointment that I booked was a solid book and a solid set. And once I started doing that, and also running 30 appointments a week, and I know that literally that's probably everybody on this call has heard that 1,000,000 times. Like,
that was my next question: is how many appointments are you setting a week to get these numbers?
Yeah. So for me, last year I think it was like 670 families. That in 52 weeks is only 12 families a week, which is not, I mean, anybody.
Dude, you did 670 last year?
It was 669. Yeah.
That's insane. I for some reason I thought it was 500,000. That's stupid. Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't even turn up until April, huh?
Yeah. I didn't start getting like I started, I didn't even have, I really hit my lead flow started. I had a solid lead flow by May. Yeah.
Oh, that is crazy. Good for you. I didn't even know that. All right. So 30 appointments.
30 appointments a week. And I heard that from Steve. Steve Giordano said this one time. One of his podcasts, he goes, you got to become obsessed with the appointment count. And I was like, dang, wait. I was like, so because some days I'd come into the office and I would book 5 for Tuesday and I would book 3 for Wednesday, and I would go out and I would get it was a total train, man. It was terrible. And once I not only started becoming obsessed with the appointment count, but also making sure that they were all solid, dude, like I'm literally, that's literally all I did. And it was like, wow, I'm going to get in front of 30. I'm going to sit with 20 to 25, and I'm going to help 10 to 15. And the only thing for me was just being insanely disciplined to that. And once I started doing that week in and week out, dude, the number, and the thing is, you're going to have weeks where you do help 20, 30 families. But even on weeks where you only help, 5 to 10, it's still, you're still really, really profitable. And I just became obsessed with that, and also making it a non-negotiable, man. That was literally changed everything for me, because dude, I barely graduated high school. Dude, it was terrible. It's like, dude, if I get in front of 30 people, it doesn't matter if it looks like my hair looks like I just woke up. I mean, there's going to be the 10 to 15 people that you're just going to, they're going to have checks on their the 25%, and then you'll get better with 50, and it was like once and book. That's the only thing. Literally, I know this is so specific. All I did is get good on the phone. That's it. Like, if I can say I'm terrible, and I'm not even like, when it comes to in-home, I'm the last guy you want to talk to. I'm being completely out, but I just got so good on the phone, and it wasn't because I'm talented. It was just, you get better with repetition. And it was like, dude, I was willing. What clicked for me was the December of 2020. I told myself, I'm gonna stay and dial from 8 o'clock in the morning, and if it's 9 to 30, I'm going to dial until 9:30 that night. And I knew if I'd done that, that's 13 and a half hours. And if I was really bad and I only got 1 appointment an hour, I was at least going to get 13 appointments. And then on some hours, I would get an extra one, just because I was so bad on the phone. But putting that type of activity on the phone on a weekly basis, you have to get better, and that's what a lot of people, anybody that asks me now, they're like, dude, you're young, what did you do? I was like, if you dial for 24 hours a week, you're gonna help 400 to 500, 600 families. It's like, and you're gonna get good at it.
And you're gonna get good at it. The most important thing. You're not spending. I can't imagine you're spending 24 hours a week on the phone now. Just with how you. Maybe you are, and that's great. The parallels between you and every top producer in the company are like, dude, if they could go back to being 19 and do this, Every single person that I know that's put up over 800,000 a year would love to be in your position. And the number one thing that I took from this is like, you just said it has to be done. So I'm not going to make excuses. I'm just going to do it. What else are you going to do? Dude, you literally made 15 years of income in 1 year. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. You made more last year than you would have leading up to 30, bro. And that's the coolest thing in the world, because now that gives you the belief in yourself and the capital that you need to now do whatever you want to do in this business and not have to think about it. Can I afford it? Now you can afford to make mistakes. And that's the best part. The ability and the freedom that comes with being able to afford mistakes is the most liberating thing in the world. You can test out lead types and they can be a bust and it don't matter. You can try something, you can try something new, and it don't matter if it doesn't work. And it's unbelievably inspiring to listen to you speak. You're wise beyond your years. I'm blown away with your poise and your tonality, bro. I'm telling you what, you're going to be, if you're not the number one producer in the company this year, I don't know who would be. I mean, now you got 12 months to do it and you're locked in and you're seeing 25 people a week. I can't, Steve, you don't even see 25 people a week. Do you? I don't think you used to. I don't think you even do anymore.
Close.
The frick. What's that? You're old and
Close,
you're old and soft
but not
now,
always.
you said?
Close, but not always. Too much hiring.
But what he said that's so similar to you, Steve, is like you just got so much activity. Like Michael, you were not the best closer, and you self-admitted that, but you built huge value. It sounds like he does the same thing. Not to hijack the interview, but I had to like bring you into this, Steve, to say when we used to talk, you used to make fun of me. Because you're like, dude, you set 20 appointments a week and you see 15 and close 13. Like, I don't know how you do that. I couldn't do that. What he's saying is the same thing as you is I don't care how many no's I get. I'm just looking for the numbers and my closing percentage doesn't matter at all. And that's what Easton does that. Twardowski did that. Conan, I don't know Conan as well as I know the other guys. I'm sure he's like that too. He might have a higher closing percentage because people are just afraid of him. But like the top guys in the bit, they're not 80% closers. They're 80% show ratio, and they resolve every single lead. All right, so Michael, back to you. So with this, now you said you're really good on the phone. You're the phone guy. Can I put you on the spot and have you set me?
Yeah,
so people can hear how you sound on the phone.
Yeah, of course.
What kind of lead am I?
I don't know. I can do a mortgage protection lead. It's fine.
Okay, cool. I'm not going to give you any pushback. I just want to hear how you sound.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hey, Rob.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob, this is John. I'm just getting back to you from the mortgage protection office here in Hillsborough County. And we're just reaching out to you in regards to this white postcard that you filled out by hand and mailed back to the office. It looks like here you filled this out requesting more information on if anything happened to you, that your home would be completely paid off. Looks like here you wrote down your date of birth as December 3rd of 1983. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, perfect. And it looks like here you also put down your address as 123 Main Street there in Tampa. Is that correct as well?
That is, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So Rob, again, my name is John. I'm not going to hold you on the phone for long. I'm actually going to make this phone call super quick. But I was just the local field underwriter that got assigned to make sure that we get this information delivered back out to the correct address so we can go over your options and show you what you can qualify for. Now, one quick thing, these programs are non-medical, so they're not going to require no physical exam from you. You know, they're not going to require to draw any blood, nothing like that. But considering that these programs are non-medical, they do make us verify that you're not, 700 pounds or, smoking on a cigarette hooked up to an oxygen tank at the same time or, just anything crazy like that. But Rob, are you currently working? Are you retired or disabled?
I'm working.
You're working. Awesome. And I'm assuming that's Monday through Friday or?
Correct. Yeah. I usually get home about 5:45, 6 o'clock.
5:45, 6 o'clock. Perfect. So Rob, here's the thing. The whole purpose of the call is just because over the next 2 days, the office actually has us dispatched out, seeing about 16 different people. So like I said, our job is to get you this information, go over your options, kind of see what makes the most sense for you and your family. Now I'm looking at my schedule now. I know I have already about 13 people booked, but I can squeeze you in. Any reason why you wouldn't be home between 6:30 and 7:30 on Tuesday?
No, we should be there.
Okay, absolutely. Well, Rob, I'm going to put you down for that slot there. Now, one quick thing, the numbers that I'm reading here, the 123 there on Main Street. When I pull up to the house, am I going to locate that on the mailbox or am I going to see that on the house?
It'll be on the house above the front door.
Absolutely perfect. And then what colored cars could I expect to see in the driveway when I'm pulling up?
Black. You'll see a black car parked out front. SUV.
A black car parked out front. Okay, perfect. And is it okay if I park in the driveway, or do you want me to park in the front of the house?
Driveway is fine.
Okay, the driveway's fine. Okay, perfect. So Rob, one quick thing. This number here, is this your cell phone number or is this your home number?
Cell.
It's your cell phone number. Okay. Is it okay if I shoot you a text message just confirming the date and time of this appointment?
Yeah, for sure.
Perfect. Well, Rob, I got you down between 6:30 and 7:30 on Tuesday. Again, that's between 6:30 and 7:30 on Tuesday. So you can go ahead and just add me to your calendar. I'm actually going to add you to mine now, just so I ensure I do not forget this. But Rob, I'm going to shoot you that text message in about 30 seconds, and we'll look forward to seeing and helping you then, and you have a blessed rest of your day. Well
done. That is great. You don't need my validation, dude. You wrote 600,000 in 9 months. So I'm just blown away by this. I had no idea what to expect bringing you on. Sometimes people can write business by accident. That's not the case with you, man. I hope everybody was taking notes. I don't even have words, dude. I'm so excited that you were able to pour into our group, and it's so motivating and inspiring. I mean, I'm looking at the comments right now, dude. You lit our team up. And I just want to thank you for your time. You want to leave us with anything, man, that you maybe would have done sooner to take your business to the next level? Because, man, this was just a 101 on how to be successful here.
Yeah, man, I would say the number one piece of advice that I would give to any really new agent starting or any agents that's struggling now is, dude, like, and it's literally just one thing, and that's investing into yourself earlier, man. Because if I could go back and start investing, every penny that I made from commissions off of sales back into leads immediately and get to 2,000 a week as fast as I could, dude, I would have, helped so many more families early on. And even with new agents that are scared to invest that, that amount. And the main thing is just become obsessed with two things. One, the appointment count, which is a given 30 appointments a week, set solid appointments. And two, make it a non-negotiable. And I know this is literally screamed from the rooftops at FFL, but that's all I did. I wish I could get on this call today and, have some secret sauce that I could leave with you guys, but that's literally all I did. But the thing is there were 30 people that I saw, them were solid appointments, and if just because, like I said, my close ratio is not, I probably have like a 40% close ratio. I'm not even kidding. But it was like, if I got in front of enough people, like just to break down the numbers, like last year, 670, that over 52 weeks is about 12K. So, I mean, it's literally, I had 30, I sat with 20, I closed 10 for an average of $100 a month. And that's all I did. It was that simple. And that's how I managed, how I managed to help, as many families as I did, which anybody can truly do. But yeah, man, the number one piece of advice would definitely be to, invest in yourself from day one, man. Because if I could go back and, dude, it took me 4 to 5 months because I would, like I said, I would ring out every single lead. I wouldn't buy leads. I would go a week, 2 weeks without buying leads. And yeah, man, it completely changed my business when I made it a non-negotiable to spend a certain amount every single week on leads. And I know a lot of people say, certain people are better than others. For me, I knew I could on average 5x my investment. So if I spent, 2, I could probably, help 10, right? If I spent 3, I could help 15. And once I learned to do that, man, everything changed for me. So definitely invest in from day one.
Michael, thank you so much. If I could leave you with something, I just would wish for you in 2022, man, I forget the years, is stay humble, stay hungry, dude. Keep the vision in front of your face at all times. And I'm really excited to do another interview with you in 6 months to a year and see where you're at, because you're one of the most impressive people that I've ever interviewed. And I've interviewed some big dogs on this call. And I just want to thank you for your time. I hope everybody took notes. There were so many nuggets on this thing. Man, are you duplicatable? It's just, are people willing to put in the work? So Michael, thank you so much for your time today. I hope you crush this week. Man, we're honored to have you on the call. And when you build an agency, it'd be an honor to pour into your people. So I hope that that's sooner than later. And guys, have a great week. Be relentless on the phones. If you don't have your 15 appointments set, don't go home. Give it a try. What's the worst case that could happen? You sell more insurance, you protect more families, you're a little tired. It's all a win-win. So guys, have a great rest of the week. Let's finish February strong. Let's continue to set records. Let's keep recruiting, build our business, and keep our goals right in front of our face at all times. Michael, thank you again. And guys, we'll see you next Monday.
Yes. Thank you, brother.